the virtual side on the upfront, like all the inspection stuff that we do, which, works even better now because again, people don't want random people in their houses, but they trust inspectors with N95 masks, that kind of stuff. So we had to redo our dispo process. We kind of had to dive back in. Ashley, my partner, and myself, we kind of dive back in and dove back in, and we needed to kind of look at what's going on. We actually signed a deal today for $40K.
Really?
Land deal. Yeah, land deal.
Wow.
But there's a couple key takeaways. Like, again, so anybody that's watching and wants to know, like, how to, like, this should be everybody's focus right now. Like, acquisitions are going to get easier, right? But the dispo side is going to be where it's at. So, like, I'm going to go through step by step what we do. This is pretty much what anybody else can do. And it's not rocket science, right?
Yeah, and I think I want to echo what you said, dude, because I think, I just got off another Zoom training with our mastermind, which is great. And we're talking a lot about the front end of things and the acquisitions. And this is all going to take shape. And it's, I don't want to say ever acquisitions is going to be easy. There's an art to it. Aaron and his team train daily, if not weekly, if not daily, with his team on how to negotiate, what to say, when to say, how to get the contract. But at the end of the day, your buyers are going to be the people who ultimately buy your wholesale deals. They're the most important, and you need a system to this. So it's not just frantic chicken with your head cut off, running around, trying to open houses, you need to do this virtually. You need to have a system to it. So that's really, really important that everyone's on here.
Yeah. So a couple of things. Obviously, there's two different properties, right? So there's the vacants and the owner occupied, right? Vacants where it's at right now. I mean, it's hard to get people in. We do into owner occupied properties, but vacant, we will agree for them to put on a lockbox on there, right? And we'll just say, look, it's like, it's for everybody's safety. You don't have to meet me there. They'll leave a key or something like that. But we'll throw a lockbox on there and we'll just run a train through that house, right? We'll just schedule everybody else and nobody shows up at the same time, but we'll let them know that's multiple people involved. For owner occupied, we will try to have somebody there. So, meaning that we will try to have them in, sometimes go in with our inspector, right? We always schedule inspection. So we will vet the buyers, and I'm going to go into how we get the buyers in our list and what we've changed specifically in the last 3 or 4 weeks, which it wasn't working. I'll put it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Last 3 or 4 weeks, like dispo is not working, right? So like we completely went back in there and redid everything. So I'm going to go back into that just 1 second. But if it is owner occupied, there's a couple different ways to get them in. So like if it's your inspector going in there, in our case, we'll have 1 or 2 buyers tag along. The inspector can actually kind of do a little interference if they need to. They're coming in as contractors. Look, we always say, like, we may have partners coming in there, whatever. Most of the time, it's not a big deal, but you kind of have to tee it up that way, right? And if it's vacant, shit. I mean, that's what everybody should be looking for, is setting up absentees, getting those vacant properties, and running as many people as you can through there. If it's a tenant situation, I think I mentioned last time, we always try to, they usually don't want to cooperate most of the time. A $25 Amazon gift card goes a long way with that.
I think that's brilliant. Let's stop there, by the way. And that might be a qualifier for people to get your free swag. Dude, the $25 Amazon gift card is absolutely brilliant. Like,
it works like
magic.
From
Amazon, it's the only place people are shopping right now. And you say, hey, I'll give you $25, a little gift card to allow my team in. Specifically, you probably say inspectors or my contractors.
Yeah, contractors, sorry for the inconvenience, but like, this is just to compensate you. And again, sorry about having more than one person to come through sometimes. So dude, most of the time, like, you're going to spend at worst like $50, maybe 75, but dude, you're running traffic through there.
Are you giving that to the owner or the tenant?
The tenant. Yeah. The owner is like, dude, you figure it out most of the time. Like, do they want to deal with the tenants? You know how it is, right? But the tenants, like, we get in touch with, it's like, we're like this, look, let us handle it. Because scheduling through the owner, you know how that goes, dude. Like, it's like play a telephone game. You're chasing like chickens and stuff like that. So we're like, look, let us take it off your hands. Give us the tenant information. We'll explain what's going on. We handle it, obviously. And at that point, they're like, it's like, all right, cool. Look, I understand it's a inconvenience. Look, we'll show up with a $25 gift card to Amazon. Or what's your phone number? We'll just text it to you, right? So they're like, oh, really? Okay. Yeah, hey, anytime. Free right now.
100%. I mean, so effectively you could use Venmo, right? You could say, hey, dude, I'm just going to Venmo you $25. Sorry about the hassle.
Exactly. Yeah. Which one do you prefer? Yeah. So that's kind of like, the 3 different ways to go around the 3 different situations you pretty much experience. But let me kind of dive into each sub segments, right? In terms of what we do. Actually, I can share my screen, but let me kind of go through what we do first, right?
Oh,
So
you have
we
to
will
share your
pull,
screen, or do you need...
yep, let me kind of show the checklist.
Guys, again, Aaron's giving away free swag. We're going to make it fun. One way to get it is you got to tag 2 people in this training, in this live in Facebook right now. Tag 2 people you believe.
Which screen do you see?
I see virtual REI
Okay,
disposition
cool. I just want to
checklist.
make sure. I've shared the wrong screen before, where it's like my
I think it's
internal. It's like my internal notes. I'm like, I edited that out anyway. Because Zoom sometimes like it just has the wrong number on there. But anyway, so let's go through this. I'll start with this first, right? And I'll show you kind of how we modified our disposition pieces, etc. This is one from earlier this month. There's one we sent out before. So what I'll do is go through this. This is the first thing everybody should do. And again, if you have a VA, this is what the VA should be doing. Everybody should have MLS access. If you don't, dude, like hop on PropStream, stuff like that. You have like a link for 14-day free trial, so you can post that in there. But pulling the buyers list, right? The cash buyers basically in that area. So it depends on the property, depends on the kind of geographical area, how far back you need to go. But typically anything that's in that area, you want to look at what's sold. And we stop going through realtors. We'll go back to a realtor if we can't get a hold of the actual buyer. Or we'll skip trace the buyer. We'll go in there. We'll look at an MLS. You can actually drop it down. You see who the transaction went through, who the actual end buyer was. Not if it was a builder, right? But we can figure out who the actual buyer was. Not like if they sold it to a conventional buyer. So typically we'll go after the cash ones, right? They'll compile a list. The VA skip trace it, has the phone numbers, and we have all of them in Google Sheets, right? Tab for each property. So then I'll have typically our dispo person will be the one that's calling. They're not doing the bullshit work, but they'll be actually calling. Want to text, but text is not as effective as a personal phone call, because you can tee it up. It's like, hey Justin, I saw you did a rehab, or you did an amazing job on this property that's like on 8310, let's say Endive, like the one I'm showing you here. It's like actually looks amazing. Look, I have another property. We're an investment company. I have a property. We're going to take it down, but we decided it's still a little bit out of our budget, our area, whatever the case is. I wanted to give you a call before I throw it on MLS tomorrow to see if you're interested.
Yeah.
That line right there moves the needle, because it's like, hey, I wanted to give you a quick call before I put it on MLS to see if you might be interested. They're like, send it over immediately. Right.
That's right.
If you get one of those, you're gonna get like immediately send it over, like immediate buying questions, or it's like, no, I'm out of the game, whatever it is. So it's gonna be like a hard yes, or like they're disqualified, right? So the call doesn't. There's no like arbitrary conversation. So that works. That's probably one of the best ways to land a buyer. The land deal we just did, we called up. It was a kind of like a somewhat of a niche area, but we called the dude up. 3 builders there. One guy was a 145. The other guy came in at 160. Our spread is 40K. We're probably going to renegotiate that down, additional 5K based on COVID and stuff like that. So, but that's how we did it on that particular deal, right? And all this does not just land, obviously applies to all single family residences, et cetera. So, what I would probably say is a secondary option would be obviously posting on Craigslist and Marketplace. Just don't give up all the intel. Post like the vicinity, area, that type of stuff, because there's
almost everything without the address, right? So
now
90K, 3-bedroom, 1 bath.
Correct. And here's why. Here's the pivot, and here's what we've seen. The biggest pivot, what happened now is that you want to find. There's a lot of mom and pop rehabbers coming out of the woodwork. They either have money, right? They're not messing around with the equities, right? Or like bonds that are paying 0.5%. Nobody's messing around with that, right? They've been waiting to do something like this for a hot minute.
Yep.
And everybody, so like, actually, like, not the biggest fan, but I do listen to the dude sometimes. So I was listening to Grant Cardone this morning, right? Happened to be in the carousel. So everybody's talking about getting deals, getting some kind of a deal, bankruptcies, all that other stuff, right? The stuff surrounding him. But everybody is now in a deal mode, right? And the mom and pop people are like, I'm gonna get me a deal. Dude, they don't. This is like current MAO. We only adjust our MAO by 5%.
Yeah.
All they know is they're getting a deal. But posting on Marketplace now and Craigslist and Zillow, because you can actually just claim the listing. You have to gauge on how intelligent your seller is, right? Because you can just claim that shit. That's what we do for owner finance properties. We'll claim the listing. We'll advertise that shit all day long on Zillow.
So how do you walk through really quick about the Zillow? So I'm the seller, and how do you put it on Zillow?
You go in there, you hit like claim, and then you go to rental manager and you put it up.
That's it. So
that, dude. There's like no security.
But for sale or for rent?
We typically would do that more. This is like our whole list, but typically that applies more to like subject to or creative deals. Yeah.
Yep.
I would probably not throw, I mean, you can do it. You can put up for sale. You can literally claim a listing, put up for sale on Zillow. We try to steer clear of that just because, again, it's a little bit more visible. It's kind of syndicated.
And then you get one pissed off realtor and.
Yeah, they'd be like, some neighbor sees it, and we've had that happen. So most of the time we save that for the creative deals, right? But it's kind of part of the total list. And then what we've done now, and this has worked really well. So we have a carousel going on Facebook, right? Targeting a specific audience of investors. And these are the people that, again, we'll send them to our Carrot website that has like, the property listed, all the details, yada, yada, yada. They fill it out, pre-qualification. I think it's the standard stuff that comes with Carrot. So everybody should have this already. A dispo website, and then they drop it down like, whether you're going to be buying as an investment property, a tenant, or not a tenant, but like, rental property, or if you're going to be actually living there. And I wouldn't disqualify people that are living there that want to buy it for cash, right? And check it out. Here's what we do with every single one of them now. IRA or 401k. Because guess what? They made that possible now.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then
so
you
people don't know, dude.
Into private lenders.
Exactly. So people don't know. And then, and then we actually refer them to, we started doing value ads on our dispo, not to get off track here, but we started doing value ads. It's not on this one, but we'll include, it's like, do you need funding? Like we'll put our commercial broker on there, and he's able to transact bridge loans at a higher rate, right? Not hard money, but like, you can get a bridge loan, you can get a rental refi, that type of stuff. So we actually try to provide value to the buyers because, dude, those people don't know how to go out there and get their own resources, right? So this has been working really well for us because it brings in kind of pre-qualified people. Most of the time, these are going to be these people that do 1 or 2 properties a year. They do not negotiate. They do not try to lowball your ass like, like the typical investors you have.
Totally.
That's where it's been at. I would say half our properties that we've assigned throughout April, if not most of them, look at them on board, have been kind of like the mom and pop type of thing besides the land that was assigned to the builder, right? Which I was shocked. I'm like, I thought they're froze up. This guy, I assumed he exited it out. Most of the property's cashed out. He's cash heavy. He's not borrowing money. He took it down for 160, like no problem. He's like, dude, I got all the time in the world now. You know what I mean? So like I can have cheap labor. I'll by the time I build it, the market's going to back up, 4 months, 4 or 5 months, right?
Got it.
So that guy's sitting pretty. But so local RIA groups, it's the same thing as like, Facebook RIA groups, all that stuff. Like that's kind of like table stakes. You should have your VA, just throw it up there. It's not our primary source, nor has it ever been. They actually used to put stuff on MLS through a flat fee listing. It's kind of like a gray area in Florida, right?
Yeah.
Because in our contract, it says we can clearly market the property even on MLS, like multiple listing service, right? But it's kind of like a gray area. Like it depends. You get some weird broker, like, I mean, so we don't need to do that as much now. But also pulling and contacting real estate agents, like, ones that pull up either on that cash buyer listing. If you can't get a hold of cash buyer, dude, their stuff, we need to skip them. They're actually in the MLS, right?
Bro, that's so just to stop there, that is what I have found, to find the same buyers that you're talking about, the people that basically almost want to own it, rent it, or own it and live in it. Agents literally have sold the last 3 deals in April for me. And all I did was I went into PropStream. Again, I'll give you guys a link to a free 2 weeks, but I called the people that had the rehab listings and I said, hey, beautiful property. Do you have a client that would be interested in something similar right down the street? Because I just comped the property, so it's in that half square mile. Dude, that one thing that you're doing for me in Phoenix, literally the last 3 deals that I contracted this month and sold this month came from a realtor involved.
Yeah. So we've actually sold 2 realtors that way.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, I want to be on the game. Like,
totally.
can I get in? I'm like, yeah, no commission.
Yeah.
We tell them no commission anyway, but like $1,000 flat fee. Like that's it.
Totally.
Yeah. But, and these are outside just blasting to your regular list. I mean, that you can try that, but that was what stopped working for us, dude. That was a non-performing way of dispoing. because everybody on that list is getting shut down. Like either they're flippers, like they don't have any capital, whatever the case is now. So this approach has been working much better. Pulling property management companies, that's another big one. That's actually, look, it's not going to be the end all. It's like advertising, you know, getting sellers on Facebook. You may get a deal or two, but it's not going to be the end all. But it's still worth it. And then like Section 8. So what's it called? Go section8.com or something like that. I forgot the website. I think that's what it's called. You can go there and you can back into the owners of the Section 8 properties. And then guess who's getting guaranteed rent? They are. So right now, if there's a gap, most states actually pass this. I think it's in the CARES Act. If there's a gap, because sometimes Section 8 doesn't cover the whole rent, right? So the tenant still pays it. They actually are covered in the gap.
Yep.
And I think in most states, not all, right? So it just depends where you live. But that's pretty much it. So again, we've kind of pivoted to this model, right? Specifically getting very personal. Again, and what we've done, I covered this last time, but getting in touch with your VIP buyers, there's going to be all of like a handful of them. Be like, dude, look, we're transacting. I got 20 properties on the board, right? We're still transacting. We're in business. What are you looking for? So I'm not wasting my time or your time, right? Yeah. Are you in business, right? Are you buying? So most of them are like, nope, sitting out. Because you know, like your list typically is like, those are the smart guys, right? They're like, I'm going to wait it out. Guess who's not waiting it out? Fucking mom and pop.
There's a lot of people not waiting it out, bro. I'm telling you right now, listen, your market's crazy like my market. There's people moving. The thing that I wanted to really make sure people understood. By the way, guys, if you're watching this on Facebook, on my page or in a group, make sure you're asking questions. Aaron's here for you to answer your questions. But one of the things I really wanted to hit home there was the marketing on the big platforms, Facebook, Craigslist, etc., without the address. First of all, virtually, it protects you from someone going around you, right? So they're not going to go door knock that address the second you post it. Secondly, the people who are serious are going to inquire, what is the address? And now it allows you and your team to engage with that person. Hey, I'll give you a call in a minute. You give them a call. What are you looking for? How long are you looking for? Are you rehabbing? Are you buying and holding? Are you living in? Is there an aid? Now you can engage, right? So it's like marketing 101. Yeah. Give them enough to get interested and then get them on the phone. Does that make sense? And that's what that does when you post, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, $90,000 in 85251 zip code, right?
Yeah. Now you'll be able to flush out the wholesalers real quick. I mean, you'll get on the phone and you'll be like, all right, dude, I'm done. But you'll be able to also build up your cash buyer list from these type of one-offs, one and twosies, right? And then, all right, you're not buying here. Where are you buying? Scottsdale, that's pretty much all I know about Phoenix. Whatever the other areas.
Dude, that's
yeah.
All right.
What's the other place called?
We're about to give away some shirts. Here's what you got to do to get some swag, some launch control swag. Aaron has decided to give you guys free stuff. So if you like free stuff, tag 2 people that need to learn this training in this post in Facebook. You're getting hats. You're getting shirts. These shirts are the real deal, man. I wear these all the time. And then I want you to take a screenshot right now with me and Aaron. Take a screenshot and share it either on your Instagram story or on your Facebook story and tag us. Aaron and I will go through. We are going to choose 3 people to give away swag. Again,
let's do 5.
A screenshot.
Let's do 5. I'll send out 5.
5.
It'll be a launch box, all launched out and everything else, custom boxes. And there's going to be something else in there that's not in what we're showing right now. Not the pens, not the poppers. There's going to be something else.
Woo! See, man, my man's generous. So listen, take a screenshot right now, put it on your Instagram story or your Facebook story, tag Aaron Pimpis and myself. You can see his name, you can see me, and we will choose 5 people. He is going to choose 5 people to send launch control boxes. Bro, this is killer. Again, let me jump on Facebook real quick. Let me make sure we're answering the people's questions. Garrett Xander, what's up? I see that you posted. So Garrett's in the game. Patricia is in the game. Daniel says, hey, question. Why would you get an inspector to go through the property? Shouldn't that be the buyer's responsibility? So I'll let you answer that, Aaron.
Yeah. So the twofold answer. We have inspection reports because, again, we're trying to do things virtually. So we don't want to go there because there's no point, right? So If we go there, we take on the property over the phone. Most of the time, sellers may or may not know what's going on with the property. Sometimes they lie, sometimes they don't. So we get an inspector that goes out there. We negotiate everything down to $150. Anybody can do this. I'll post a SOP in the group if anybody's interested. But this way, it's inexpensive. You create credibility, not only with the seller, because you're getting an actual inspection done. One, they don't want to let your ass in the house. Trust me, right? They don't want to let Justin in the house. Be like, dude, I don't know you from John, right? But who they will let in the house is a state licensed inspector, right? With an N95 mask and some gloves on and some goggles, because most of them got them, right? So they'll let them in. And what we're doing is we're not only getting a 4-point inspection, so we can actually know what's going on with the property. We can renegotiate, because again, we're doing things virtually, right? I don't know what the hell's going on with the property, but now I know there's, a soft spot. I know there's some leakage in the roof, that kind of stuff. So we come back and we use all those points. We highlight it. We send it back to the seller. Be like, look, didn't know about these things. We may have to adjust, right? And it's true, right? It's just because doing things virtual is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Most of the time we'll get a Dropbox with like 60 to 100 pictures. We get a walkthrough video, and then we use that shit to market the property. And then we create credibility with our buyers by saying that, look, not only do we have all the pictures, we provide, actually, let me share my screen so I can kind of show you guys what we're doing. Same screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. So basically going back into this, we'll add the pictures in here. We add in the comps, not only for the ARV, but also rental comps. We'll put a rentometer in there, right? And we're trying to pivot to doing a lot more, buy and hold type of scenarios, right? Because now it's kind of rental market. There's not a lot of heavy rehabs going on. Mm-hmm. So we'll put in like either that, or we'll have the exact cap rate, right? This one's rent ready. So there's not a whole lot you can do. And you can actually get in here and go at it. But we'll also put the fact that we have, and most of our buyers know this, that we actually have the inspection report of the property, video walkthrough, 90 pictures, right? And they appreciate that because we're the only ones doing it, dude. Nobody else is going like the extra mile providing this shit. So not only are you able to communicate, you show everything with the property, but it was like, look, dude, if you don't want to go in there, and with some buyers, we have that amount of trust where they'll buy it because we did the inspection report for $150.
That's right. At the end of the day, think about the psychology. If you are buying a rehab or a rental and you literally have a full-blown inspection report that's given to you, your sense of confidence goes drastically up through the roof. At the end of the day, if I'm going to go buy a rental, I'm going to get an inspection anyways. He just got it. It'll be date stamped. It's by a third-party inspector, a licensed inspector. Yeah. Now I know what I need to know. The confidence goes up. It makes it so much easier to sell deals as a wholesaler. It's really, the value you get by that investment for $150 is insane. There's no doubt about it. If I haven't answered any of your questions, I saw a couple questions came through that I was not able to read quick enough, and I can't see it right now on Facebook. If I didn't answer or ask the question to Aaron for you to answer, re-ask it real quick. So I want to make sure that everyone gets their questions answered. And as you guys see, Aaron is an expert on the REI Masterclass. There is a link here in the comments about the REI Masterclass. Check out the REI Masterclass if you're not a part of it. I leverage the biggest, baddest experts such as Aaron to teach you their systems, their styles, their SOPs, standard operating procedures, everything that they're doing, they teach in the REI Masterclass.
What's working today.
That's right.
Not the shit that worked 4 weeks ago, because that does not work anymore.
That's right. Agreed. Yeah. So check out that link. Daniel has another question. At some point, do you ever engage with sellers via FaceTime to build that trust so that they can feel confident on selling their houses to you?
Yeah, so we tried. We didn't used to do it before because it's like we would just do it over the phone. But now some people, we have to take everybody down. And some people are just like, you have to kind of read if it's an older demographic, that type of stuff, or whatever the case is, right? We'll try to send them a text message before the second call. It's like, hey, do you have FaceTime by any chance, right? Because they are talking to all their family. They're on FaceTime, probably not on Zoom, but families, FaceTime, businesses for Zoom, right? So 90% of people will say yes, and they have it, right? And even if they don't, be like, hey, you don't have to be on the camera. You can just, at least you'll see who I am. You'll see the office, because my guys come in here on and off, right? Mm-hmm. But this way you're kind of like face to face and be like, You'd be like, hey, just, if you don't mind, give me the virtual tour of the house again. Kind of like show me, like, I know you're talking about the roof and some leakage there. And they'll just start yapping around, right? So that not only are you building credibility by them talking, the more they talk, the more credibility you build, right? Because they should be talking more than 50% of the time. But it allows you to connect even more, right? So typically we'll tee it up with a text before second or third call. And then, if they jive with it, we can kind of move forward communicating with them that way, third call. But most of the time it goes back to the phone.
100%. Let's see what else. Ooh, look, I got a buyer on my phone, my bat phone. Buyers are calling in, man. Deals are moving.
That's where the focus should be. That's it.
That's it. I'm on this training though. I gotta answer. Hey, watch this live training.
You should.
Hey, Diana. The tenant should be there. They said that they were going to be there anytime after 1. And so let me reach out to the seller to confirm. But yeah, I'll get back to you here momentarily. Yeah, hang tight. Let me check. Yeah. Thank you. Bye. Buyer's there and the tenant's not answering. Classic problem. Classic. Jeez.
Never happened before, right?
But this is about, I'm not there, right? The reality is this is virtual, and these are some of the hurdles and hiccups. I mean, this is real life. I literally just answered that call to keep this virtual, and the tenant said, yeah, I'm here at 1 o'clock. It's, all day, and it's 3:50. No one's there. So
get that gift card ready, dude.
That's it. 100%. That's great. So listen, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for coming on. Guys, check out the REI Masterclass, Real Investors. Aaron, myself, Brent Daniel, Sean Terry, you name it, right? The biggest and baddest in the industry, they're on here. They're teaching what they're doing real time. So check out the REI Masterclass. I appreciate you, dude.
Cool. Thanks for having me on.